Hello, everybody. Just checking here to see if everything's going online like it's supposed to be. Oh, looks like we're live. Perfect. All right. Let me make sure I've got this muted so it doesn't pop up here. So I can see those comments. Oh, see what I mean? Hi, hey Karen, thanks for joining me. This is Tara. I'm Tara Beth with Tara Beth Stamps. I'm a independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in mid-Missouri. And I thank you for joining me tonight. I hope your weekend was fantastic. Oh, I'm glad you like the card. So today we are going to do a thank you card with the Sweetest Cherry stamp set and punch. So this is a bundle that's available in the annual catalog. It's fairly new. I've used it a couple of times. I think it's super sweet. Of course, it goes great with the in colors. So that is amazing. Hey, Rosie, thanks for joining me. I'm going to see if I can't get these comments to scroll for me. So we're going to do a little stamping first. Hey, Shirley, thanks for joining me. We're going to do some stamping first, and then we'll get to the card assembly. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've got a piece of basic white. I am going to take my Sweet Sorbet, because I love those end colors. And what I'm going to do is I have a strip, and so this is so that I can feed it through without wasting a lot of paper. So I've just got a small, I guess it's probably a 1.5 inch, 1 1/4 inch strip. And I'm going to make sure that I have my stamp oriented. Hey, Lori, thanks for joining me. I'm going to make sure that I've got my stamp oriented the way my punch is. So we're just going to do a quick ink up there and a quick ink up here. I may as well do the inside if I can find that piece and try to do some assembly line sort of stuff. Make this super efficient. All right, there's that. I may not have an envelope today because I don't see it. My stamping area is a disaster. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside. Those red inks are sometimes a little wet to the touch, so I'm going to give that just a few minutes to dry a little bit. Now I'm going to take that Parakeet Party. Hey, Lisa, thanks for joining me. I'm going to take that Parakeet Party ink. Once again, I've got just a small strip. I'm just going to see how those leaves are oriented so that I'm not wasting a lot of paper. And I'm just going to give that leaf a couple of, we'll do about 3. I'm going to set that aside and let that one dry. And then I won't close that ink just yet. Then I'm going to take, hey, Amy, thanks for joining me. We had a great meeting today. Awesome, awesome demonstrations. Rosie jumped on there. Karen jumped on there. All right, so I'm just going to stamp that stem right there on that inside piece, and then I'm going to take another piece of white, basic white, and I'm going to stamp that so that I can just punch it right on out. There we go. All right, so this is the inside. It's completely done. So we'll just set that off to the side. And then I'm going to go ahead and punch out all of our pieces. So we've got cherry number 1, cherry number 2. Oh, I'm glad you liked that card, Rosie. I appreciate it. Yours was beautiful. So that was shared on my blog today. So if you missed it, check it out. Oh, I don't think I'm gonna have to restamp that because there's no way that I'm not gonna miss that. All right, there's that. I'm gonna trim my paper up a little bit, flip it over because I've got a little bit of Parakeet Party that I smidged a little bit. We'll just ink up another one. All right. Just line it up on that builder punch. You can let it fly, or you can come grab it in your hand. I'm going to pick up these little pieces and get them out of the way. And then we'll do the leaves. So just once again, line that right up. There's one. There's two. And here's three. Let's see if I've got enough to hold on. And I do. Just enough. If you don't have a big enough tag to pull, get that in there, you can always use a Post-it note. So here's a Post-it note. So I would just add that in here like this, and that would help feed in and get it lined up. It gives you that little extension without wasting a lot of paper. So that's a tip for those building punches. All right, now let's see here. We are going to stamp Sweet from the Sweetest Cherries stamp set using a little bit of Starry Sky. And I have a super long piece of basic white. And the reason that I did that is because I'm going to put it at that angle, so I'm going to have to trim some off. So I'm going to ink that up well. Give it a good stamp. These new inks give a great impression. We'll set that to the back. And now we're going to do something that I haven't ever done on camera, so this should be interesting, guys. We're going to do a little embossing. So what I've got here is my little embossing kit. So I just get these little boxes on Amazon. This is a folded piece of paper that I've used a zillion times. I have my embossing buddy, I have my embossing powders, and then I have my Versamark all in here, all together. That way I know where it's at, and it's always there when I need it. So I'm going to take my embossing buddy, just put a little bit on here in this corner. Throw it back in my thing. And I don't think I have my sentiment stamp out yet. So let me grab that. So there it is. So here is my birthday stamp, and I'm going to flip it around just because of the way I have it on the block. I'm going to ink that up super well and give it a nice stamp right there. So as you can see, that's just with that Versamark. That's a really good, I don't know if you can see that in the camera. Oh yeah, you can. How well that came out. I'm going to use that same piece of paper. That way I'm not wasting and it's there. And I'm going to take my white embossing powder and just dump a bunch of it on there. And then I'm going to shake it around. That way it gets a really good image. There we go. All right, give that a little flick, get rid of it. Ooh, some of it got on my workstation. That's gonna drive me crazy. Ooh, yuck. All right, so I'm gonna emboss it off camera just because I don't want that loud noise right there. So I love the white embossing powder on top of the dark colors. I think that's super pretty. I like it on this starry sky. I like it on black. I like it on navy. Anything dark to make it pop. All right, so there we go. I was worried about doing that, but it worked out. Yay. All right, so now we're going to take that Sweet and just kind of decide where we want it. So I see kind of where I want it, and here we go. I'm like, where's the adhesive? I'm just going to run some adhesive right across there. That way I can set it where I want it, and it's going to be right there. Okay. So we've got a lot of hangover. So I'm just going to flip my card over and do a little trimming with my paper snips. All right, there we go. So now that all the stamping is done, we can do just assembly work with our cherries. So on these cherries, when I'm building them, I like to do a glue dot just on the back of them. That way it holds that stem down and it kind of just flows better. So here's our mini glue dots. Just gonna take one and put one on each area where I would put that stem. And then I can take that stem, flip it over, and fix it the way I want it. So there's one, and here's the other. All right. So I'm going to just do a little seal on one of them, and then we'll do one with a Stampin' Dimensional, just to give it that little oomph. So here's a little half dimensional I've got, because Rosie loves those half ones. All right. Flip that over. I'm just gonna put it up a little bit higher. Okay. Now, if I can find some more dimensionals. There we go. Oh yeah, Rosie, I've got some of those Swifters, but I don't use them on my house to get rid of the dust. Why would I use them on my scrapbook table? That's not true. I did a lot of cleaning last week. It was something new I hadn't done in quite a while. All right. See how I want to erase that? Stem, cherry, there we go. There's how I want to do that one. Let's do a little seal on this one. So if you're watching my reels at all on Instagram, I have become a fan of seal. I've never really been a huge fan of it, but it's just so much quicker and I really like it. So I said to this afternoon, give it a chance because it is really quick and it holds so well. Okay. Now we're going to do our card base. What I did was I have a 4 1/4 by 9 3/4. So that's going to leave just a little bit here to put that basket weave on. So I'm going to decide how I want to fold it, and then I'm going to pull out my basket weave stamp and open up that soft succulent or soft suede ink. All right, so I'm just gonna line it up. And the nice thing is you don't have to match it up or anything because it's already done. It's made for you to go on the next weave already. You'll want to get it as close as possible. And there we go. So there's our basket weave down at the bottom. I'm gonna fold this and burnish it well with my bone folder. I make a mess with liquid glue too, Amy, and so I have a specific kind of liquid glue that I use, and it's not provided by Stampin' Up, so I've been trying to find something else, and the seal has just worked out well. And I find that maybe putting the seal on the base works the best for me. Okay, put a little bit of seal there, line it up, and then push it down. And so now I don't have all that gritty, gross stuff on my fingers and sticky mess. Okay, to finish off the front, I've got some of the 2022-2024 matte decorative dots. And I'm just going to take a couple of those and add them wherever I see fit. And the nice thing is you can kind of change your colors around, make it not all the same. Let's do one of those little green ones. I don't think the adhesive came off that one. And we'll put that one down there. So there's the front of the card. Super easy. Now all we have to do is glue down the inside, which we already have done. So this is a quick and easy, I wouldn't really consider it a fun fold, but it is different than the basic A4 dimensions. So Here we go. There's that. And there's today's card. Once again, thanks so much for joining me on your Sunday night. I appreciate you taking your time to spend with me. I will be back next week. We'll see what I can come up with. If there's something that you want to see, let me know. I'd be glad to do it. I will see you next week, and thanks for stopping by.